Cheers. Cold coffee, but still coffee. Delicious. Let me make sure everything's working here. Seems to be. Seems to be. I hope so. Do a little adjusting while I wait for everybody here. So the Red October update for, is it October 2nd? Shaping up to be quite a month already, isn't it? So this is sort of a recurring message that I think I'm going to be saying for the whole month, just about preparing, being prepared for what's coming. And it kind of makes me laugh to see some of the comments as if I'm just, I don't know, being emotional or trying to use some kind of hype to get more people. It's not about that at all. In fact, I've said before that doing lives is not my favorite thing to do. Over the last 4 years, everything that we've seen, last 8 years, it's kind of leading up to this November. And regardless of what you think that may happen, and there's some totally polarizing views on that, I'm not sure how anybody could not think that this is a pivotal moment for all of us. So for this particular live, I'm not here to convince anybody of anything in particular, other than that it's very wise to prepare mentally, physically, spiritually for what's coming. So, and to prove, I'm not sharing any links. I'm not trying to get you to buy anything or become one of my supers on here and donate. I appreciate all of that, but that's not what I'm here for. So, to further prove, what I recommend as far as preparing are some very simple things. Food, if you have the means to get a little bit of extra, just get stuff that you use anyway, like canned foods, dried foods. If you can can or jar, now is a great time to learn how to do that. I just kind of started doing it this year. Stuff that lasts for a while, but you know you're going to use, you will not waste 1 penny of that money. Maybe you can buy a few extra jugs of water. Is that going to go to waste? No. Small bills of cash on hand is always a great thing to have. And it's not going to, as long as you don't light it on fire, then it's not going to be a waste. Some extra fuel. Okay, now we're getting into the territory where people think I'm being crazy or something. It's not a bad thing either. It's not going to go to waste. But that's on you. And all of this kind of stuff, it's on your personal situation and what you think, what's your comfort level? What do you want to do? I've been thinking about this for so long and trying different things that I'm at a point I have nothing else to do except try to prepare others and field questions or whatever it is, share more videos. I've been kind of getting away from doing my music videos, but the last couple of years, I've literally posted hundreds of new songs and original videos and things. So, like I said, I'm kind of at a point this month where I feel really blessed. I'm able to just do whatever I want. And helping others is something that I love to do. So, again, those with the negative mindset and comments, I don't know why you're here because, for one, I'm not going to be caring or listening. If I see some of that, oh, I'll go into the next positive one and give them some hearts or respond. And that's as far as it's going to go. So, if you don't like listening to me, please go find somebody that you like and support them, because positive is far more meaningful than negativity. I could care less. And also, the last 4 to 8 years has really, well, my whole life, but has prepared me for just kind of putting myself out there and being at a point where I don't care anymore. I don't care what anyone thinks or don't think. But if it's positive or if it's constructive criticism, I will accept it. And that's that's a journey I wish everybody would go on and learn lessons. So we got Raj. How was your journey? My journey is great, as I'm saying. Thank you. And Sacha, welcome back. I remember you. Thank you from Germany. I appreciate it. So, and this is the kind of thing I love to be able to do, to be comfortable enough to talk to you all and share what I've learned because, a lot of times, keyboard warriors that we all are, it's a bit disconnected. And I'm as guilty of it as anybody. And I'm primarily an introvert. I don't know about you. Who do we got out there? We got introverts, we got extroverts, ambiverts, ambiverts, ambiverts. Uh, can you be both? I'm primarily an introvert, and so it took me many years to get used to doing live just for sort of that extra step was huge for a while. But now it's kind of at a point where I feel like I can, after much practice, I can kind of relay my thoughts in a normal manner and still be, in the outside world communicating. But we really need more people to speak out and to we need to connect each other on the positive stuff, because that's so much more powerful than the negative. uh, Arguments are never going to go away, but if we can't look past what we disagree on and focus more on the positive, then nothing's ever going to get better. So, um, as hopeful as I am about the future, and I keep telling you, I am a realist. And I know that there's lots of things that we're not going to agree on. That's just how it is. And sometimes we have somebody really like minded, like Satya, you just brought up stuff about Bob Joyce and JFK, stuff like that. Sometimes we're really like minded on all kinds of stuff, but then something like that, somebody tell me I'm crazy for even thinking it. And so that's just life. That's how it is. Is there more coming about Bob Joyce? If I had to guess, or if I was betting on it, I would say there's a 90+% chance. Bob Joyce has been connected with and photographed with so many celebrities and interesting people the last few years, especially this year. But so just take out of the equation completely that he's Elvis. Forget about all that. This is one of the many connections that we talk about, right? Why is this small town pastor who seems to have almost no past that we can point to or talk about other than his birth date and where he grew up? It's just kind of like he appeared out of nowhere and started this small church however many years ago, came out with his first album in 1990, long time ago, but he already had a gray beard. And now is hanging with kind of like some of the top people in the conservative movement, if I can say that. It's just, it's logical. Okay, George Magazine, some of you know how that began and how the revival of that is totally just building up to this time right now that we're in. And yeah, more stuff is coming. Absolutely. How much, I don't know, but somehow, some way, Pastor Bob Joyce is going to be at the forefront of some things. So if we already go in with that knowledge, then, you know, you can speculate just like I can what might be coming in the next couple months. The main thing I want to finish with, unless anybody has any questions or thoughts, is what I'm going to keep saying. Some of you might get a little bit tired of it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep saying this all month and probably going into November. You know what happens on November. And that is, a lot of us have been expecting some sort of quick day. Things are counted, winner, loser, or something, right? I see no scenario where that happens. And I am in the smaller group of people who believe that. Actually, I haven't even heard this theory mentioned. And so I'm proud to be among the first. I haven't heard anybody talking about it. And so that's also why I think it's important for us to prepare for a long November, long October, November, Red October, Hypnotic November, as Kim Clement said many years ago. I think he was right. And so that indicates quite the month of November, not just a day, not just a couple days and a fiasco and whatever, but some of you know what November 2020 was like in those couple months and how difficult it was. Some of you had a difficult time in 2016. So again, I'm not here to push you any given direction. This is something I've learned how to do over time, but to try to give all of you something you can run with. This time, we need to all not be as emotional. We should keep our eyes open for what actually happens. We've been listening to all these people say, this is going to happen. This guy's bad. This guy's good. This girl's good. So and so, on and on. Right? We've all been going around this circle over and over again. And it doesn't matter where you're watching stuff like this. So, no matter where you are in this whole circle, let's say the truth is in the middle and we're all around the circle somewhere. The best way we can prepare is to not just tunnel vision on this is my belief system and it's going to happen. And if it don't happen, I'm going to lose my mind. Instead of going emotional down that road, breathe. Listen to some good 432 hertz music, like is in my piano instrumental playlist and other playlists. Rest when you need it. Eat good food, not junk. Drink lots of water. Do whatever, exercise, do whatever it is you need to do. But now is the time to really, I think, prepare all the ways you can for yourself and for your family, friends, whoever. It's going to be a pivotal couple months no matter what. And I would bet a lot of money on that if I had a lot of money to bet. Well, maybe I wouldn't because I'm not really into gambling. I usually max out at $40 at a casino on the rare occasion that I go, just because you know I'd rather bet on a sure thing than just guessing and whatever. So that's why I'm here, is to help all of you not guess, but have a good plan and think logically. Because if you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, if you believe He is in control, some of you do not. Okay, I get it. But if you're the ones who do, then it had to be this way. It's His plan, however it works out. So, okay, last call for questions or comments before I go. The song of Bob Joyce from 1990, something about angels. I can't remember the name. There Will Be Angels. I forget. The video where you shared on YouTube, the voice sounds to me 1-to-1 compared to Elvis. I agree. There's if you listen to that whole album, there's some songs that not for me, don't seem that great, but it's the same voice on the whole album. But there's a couple of them that are really like, wow. I would, as a musician, I would have no doubt if somebody told me, oh, hey, check out this old or newer Elvis CD. I'd be like, okay, yeah, sounds pretty cool. And hi, Crystal. And absolutely, it sounds just like him. One of the videos I did last week, I think, you can look it up, but I think I said it was like from a musician's perspective, I went down some points that I made about as a professional musician, a musician my whole life, piano player, drummer, band leader. I've done a lot of different things for the Marine Corps and as a civilian. The chances of him not being Elvis, that would be more wow, much more wow to me at this point. So I just I don't see it being not him. Um, that vibrato that he has, that baritone tenor range, sort of wide range, even as an older guy, um, he's got skills, right? We all know that, but he has Elvis level skills. He doesn't have just some nobody that popped out of nowhere skills and became an amazing performer and public speaker. Um, Hello, Miss Constitutional. Hello, everybody. Have you ever read what it says on his profile picture? Are you talking about Facebook? Or I don't hardly use Facebook anymore, but sometimes I will be going on there just to see any new pictures. Um, Only one person sounds like that, and it's Elvis, right? I agree. It says he already went home and he's been back to work since 1955. Already went home. Hmm, that's interesting. What profile picture? What app are you talking about? God took Jesus home before his second return to build our kingdom. Amen. Okay, YouTube. I'll have to check that out. Um, it's probably been a while since I pulled up uh, their profile description on YouTube. Give me just a second. Sounds like the trash guy showing up, making noise. He definitely does not look his age. I think he is Jesus. Well, he's really blessed me with his music and messages, as well as many others. So another thing I was going to say too about just my experience as a leader and struggling to become a better public speaker. That's not one of my natural skills. I had to learn it, but I also know from having a lot of mentors who were good public speakers, and those who were charismatic, those who were not as charismatic. Again, Pastor Bob just kind of seems like he came out of nowhere. And not only is he this multi-talented musician who sounds just like Elvis, but his public speaking and preaching is impeccable. And the way that he engages with the congregation and puts together a timely message that speaks to us, and it's he's kind of at the top of his game. And so that is interesting as well. And being selected by Gene Ho and George Magazine to what looks like kind of becoming sort of like a religious leader to tie in with George Magazine and everything, that's mighty interesting. I was so glad I came in your stream. You were talking about Bob Joyce. I was just talking about him this morning. So crazy. That's awesome, Crystal. Well, I think what it says on there matches what the Bible says how Jesus would come back. I'd be open for it. I don't think he's going to come back in that way, but I think Jesus works through all of us in mysterious ways and around people that we're close to, that we love, people that we share with, strangers, anybody. One of the things that I work so hard for is I'd like to have more money to be able to help more people, because to me, being able to help somebody, I don't want to just like randomly throw a couple dollars at somebody on the street that I don't know or anything. I'd I'd like to do it in a more organized way and make sure that my money is going to the right places. And so anyhow, that's one of the motivations I have to work hard and make more money, is so that I can sort of do it the way I want to do it, but you know, use my resources to help others. So um, God speaks to each of us in a different way on how we can do that. How many cancer patients has he healed? I haven't really heard about healings, but I don't know. Well, I was drawn to him in that first message I heard too. So I'm sure a lot of people would agree with us on that. And that's another good point that I mention sometimes about me being one of the people that are sharing all of his videos and talking about him, is I'm really a good candidate because I was not an Elvis fan. Um, he was kind of before my time, like a lot of us that are paying attention to what's happening now. But I liked his music, but it wasn't something that I ever latched onto. In fact, it's only kind of become meaningful to me this year because of Pastor Bob Joyce and his ministry. And I love his gospel music and how he does everything. And it really did speak to me. So, and then again with that, I was drawn to him too before I was fully believing the Elvis theory or theories. When I first heard his message, and I was just really impressed with it, and it spoke to me in the timing of it in 2024. It was early this year. At that time, I was only looking at all of the theories with Elvis. So if you go on other places, maybe not here, but what you're going to find is if you just look for all the videos out there, Pastor Bob is not the only one that people think is Elvis, right? Maybe some of you don't know that, but that's where I started from. There are several different people that, at least in the recent past, who were potential candidates for being him. And so I started When I first heard Pastor Bob give one of his messages, or the first couple times, I was still at the bottom, the beginning of the digging, the looking for answers. And well, what about this guy? He kind of looks like him. Well, Pastor Bob, he looks like him, but they're different. And then over time, over literally hundreds of videos, I don't know if I'm over 1,000 mark by now, but it feels like it. All those other potential Elvises, no, I've tossed them out because they don't have near the amount of coincidences that Pastor Bob Joyce does. So, in my opinion, just my opinion, it's either him or he's gone. And I don't believe the second choice. I think it's him. So, well, you know, I'm a whistleblower and I have not been called. Oh wow, it sounds like you have quite the story for sure. Miss Constitutional Rights. Oh yeah, I remember you reading about kind of your, um, oh, about your mom being a fan, and you never was. Yeah, that's fascinating too. And I think it was Pastor Bob in an interview I just caught recently. It's a new video that I want to post from George Magazine, where he was talking about how the older hymns, older gospel stuff, it doesn't really get old. No song gets old unless you listen to it too many times, right? And he was talking about how the younger generation, they've never heard some of these hymns and gospel tunes before, and they're really good. Just like I didn't hear a lot of Elvis's music. I knew very little about him, so I just thought he was, you know, the king of rock and roll. He was doing like Blue Suede Shoes and Hound Dog. That was all I knew, was kind of his chart topping hits. And that's the only things I ever heard on the radio, or at least remembered. So I thought that was a really excellent point as a musician who appreciates the older music, doesn't really play it on a regular basis, but we're at a point with the generations, and you know how if you wait long enough, something comes back in fashion. It's sort of the same thing with music. And with everything that's happened the last 8 years, music included, Hollywood included, now this whole P. Diddy, Justin Bieber, you name it thing. Uh, I'm not just posting that entertainment stuff, by the way, because I don't know, it gets subscribers or views or anything like that. Yes, I'm trying to build my channel. Yes, I'm trying to get my original music out to more people. But from my point of view, from everything I've seen, all this stuff ties together. And so the stuff that we're talking about with P. Diddy, the now 120 allegations, lawsuits coming in the next month, including from a 9-year-old boy, I guess, one of the young ones. All of this stuff ties together. And so I guess where I was going with that is Hollywood getting flipped on its head, right? That is the music industry. Kids are seeing this. Kids that I know, they're aware of this stuff happening. And then at the same time, so that's kind of crashing down, as it were. At the same time, we have somebody like Pastor Bob Joyce, a total talent, charismatic, older guy, bringing all of these older, great gospel tunes into the spotlight. It's it's just a beautiful thing, and it's one of the many reasons I think that by the time we get through this year and maybe the next year, we're going to see a lot of things that we could only say that was God's plan. Only He could have done what He did in a short amount of time. Even though we've been watching this stuff for years, I do believe we're getting to a point where big things are all going to collide and happen in a fairly short amount of time. So that's what I'm waiting for, and how I started this video trying to get all of you prepared for. Hey, Jersey, welcome back. Um, I'm slowly getting better at reading comments while I do lives. This new songs bring the little ones home. Yep, we're all the little ones compared to our Father. BP Slick. Christians are always saying later, later, later. It's gonna. Oh. Well, it's not just Christians, that's for sure. But I will agree with you in the sense of the end times, especially. That's one of my pet peeves. And so let me be clear about that. I'm glad you mentioned that, BP. One of my pet peeves as a Christian is the pastors that are tunnel vision about the end times. I don't agree with pastors who do that with the doom and gloom at all. I would always rather err on being positive and all of us trying to join together, be positive for the future, many years out, rather than doom and gloom. So that's my short soapbox on that one. And I think maybe my camera just froze. So sorry about that. Sometimes I really want some Starlink internet because my connection goes in and out, or whatever connection I need to get things done. So on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for joining me. Yes, I think it's a great thing for our country, and it's God's perfect plan. So that's a great way to finish this live up. And I can't promise I'm going to do the live streams daily, but especially Monday through Thursday, I'm going to try to do them as much as possible. I'm going to keep putting out as many videos as I can, as I have been. And oh, thank you for the email. I will look for that. And so keep posted for more videos. I got so much stuff I want to get out to you guys that I just try to keep up with it. So more coming very soon, including some music. I'm probably going to put out a new piano instrumental. That's actually my next plan for today because I kind of got out of playing and recording lately. And so look for more of everything soon. And please check out my playlists. I got lots of playlists with some different oddball things that you may enjoy, music and non music as well. So take care. God bless.